Hi everybody. First, let me just thank everyone for joining in our telephone town hall meeting that we had this week. We covered a wide range of topics and it had some great conversation. Here are our questions we're going to start off with. First is an email I got from Susan in Maple Grove, who writes in, Dear Representative Paulson, I'm writing to you to request your support and co-sponsor of the Medicare Part B Home Infusion Services Temporary Transitional Payment Act, H.R. 3163, that was introduced by Congressman T. Berry and Bill Pascrell from New Jersey. The legislation addresses a gap in reimbursement payments for home infusion services under Medicare Part B. This legislation is vital to ensure that Medicare beneficiaries who need home infusion do not lose access to these life-saving therapies. Sincerely, Susan. Actually, Susan, as you mentioned today, more and more seniors are deciding to stay at home for their care as opposed to going to a nursing home or a long-term care facility. That also means that these seniors need to have access to different medications, infusions, or other treatments on a regular basis. You'll be pleased to know that I did support this legislation, which just passed in the Ways and Means Committee, that will strengthen the Medicare program as a part of a series of bipartisan bills. So the good news is this allows this infusion services to take place in the home for our seniors, and it also gives confidence and proves that we can work in a very bipartisan manner for health care, and I hope we can build on that looking into the future. Next up is an email we got from Paul in Loretto, and Paul writes in, Dear Congressman Paulson, this week the administration released objectives for the upcoming renegotiation of the North American Free Trade Agreement. It is critical that we get this process right to ensure it protects American jobs and American products. During the upcoming discussions with Mexico and Canada with renegotiation, there will be opportunities to make sure that NAFTA works for America. Please do anything you can to move this process forward. Thanks, Paul. As Paul rightly points out, the administration has just begun a process of embarking on a new series of questions with the North American Free Trade Agreement for renegotiating with our trade partners of Canada and Mexico. And while there have been a lot of successes with NAFTA, there's also some opportunity for some new successes in the future. And one area in particular that needs more attention, and hopefully we'll have a new chapter in negotiations, is digital trade, something that didn't exist when NAFTA was first negotiated with our trading partners more than 20 years ago. Digital trade now is so important because whether you're a manufacturer, a food service provider, you're involved in all different areas of business, you likely use the internet with digital trade and e-commerce. That's an area where we need to make sure that our companies continue to maintain their edge and innovation. Right now we have a trade surplus with digital trade with all of the services that we have, and so we should make sure that we have more digital trade opportunities in the future, which is the reason that I did lead a letter with my colleague Susan Delbeni from Washington State, a bipartisan letter. We lead the Digital Trade Caucus to the administration, letting them know of our priorities to include digital trade as a part of NAFTA modernization. Thanks everyone for joining the conversation this week. Please continue to reach out anytime with your questions, your thoughts, your ideas. You can reach me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, of course, and at the website at paulson.house.gov.